Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. Guys, on today's video, we're going to be giving you an international roundup. Now, I know this is a little bit late, but we are going to be talking about the games that happen internationally. We're going to be talking about Argentina. We're going to be talking about Brazil, and specifically Neymar, because unfortunately, guys, Neymar has picked up a big injury. He's going to be out for a considerable amount of time. And we're also going to be talking about some teams in Europe, specifically England. They did beat Italy 3-1. And so we're going to talk about them and how the European scene looks ahead of the Euros. But guys, as always, remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. And if you guys want to join and give your thoughts, I have posted a link on Twitter. So go make sure to check us out over there. But let's just get straight into the video. And let me introduce my co-hosts for the day, both Alvaro and Ricky. Guys, say what's up.
There's a better version of Alex, by the way. So.
Good evening,
Yeah,
everyone.
he's the one who knows more ball knowledge.
No, it's okay. We're all equal here. We're all human beings. I love you all.
But all right,
pleasure to be here.
All right, shut up. All right, first topic of the day. We're going to be talking about Argentina's 2-0 win against Peru. Messi absolutely balls. He gets a brace as he is coming back. Well, this Argentina team is looking absolutely nasty. As I said in my watch along, Argentina dominated the game. Peru, they did make the game difficult for Argentina, but the Messi brilliance, those 2 goals, just absolutely demolished Peru. And I was actually going to bring this up, but this Argentina team is actually currently 4 wins out of 4. They're 4 for 4 in the CONMEBOL qualifyings, and they've only lost 1 game in 51 matches, and that game was actually in the game against Saudi Arabia, which you could say was their most important defeat
of all teams.
Exactly. Just in order to just focus on the mindset and get into that momentum in order to win the World Cup. But what are your sensations on this Argentina team? Because if this Argentina team is looking like the favorite for the 2024 Copa America, bro, why is this guy like smiling like that? This guy's so weird.
Because I'm smiling because Argentina's a joke. They're not gonna win next World Cup.
They dunked on Mexico. They dunked on Mexico every single time they meet in the World Cup. How does that feel? Just knowing that Messi dunks on you every single time. But continuing my conversation, if Argentina they do win the next Copa America, and specifically looking at the scene of South America at the moment, could this national team become the greatest of all time internationally?
Before you say anything, don't forget Spain. 08.
Yeah. For example, I'm bringing that up because that Spain team they won the Euros in 2008, then they won the World Cup at 2010, and then they won in 2012.
Mexico 14, 16, and 18.
No, but in all seriousness, anytime a team does that, they gotta be put into a conversation. I'm sorry for my lack of ball knowledge, but what other team has done that besides Spain and Argentina if they were to win the next?
Oh, well, I mean, no other teams. I know that the Brazil team in 06, I think, was talented. Was like you could say the most talented team like to ever grace
on paper.
Yeah, on paper, that was the team I think with R9, Ronaldinho, Kaká.
Yeah, that Brazil team.
Well, so Spain's the only team to do so.
Well, yeah, because they've won 2 Euros.
Right. I want to make sure. Yeah,
exactly. So the competition would be either between Argentina and Spain.
France did win the Euro. No, Portugal won it in 16.
Yeah, but Portugal won it. France actually lost the final in 2016.
Yeah.
But that was a dominant team for a little bit too. That France team during that 16-18 era.
I mean, but they didn't win the Euros.
The difference between Argentina and Spain is that Spanish team that won the 2012 Euros, that was the ending of that generation. This Argentina team, they're starting a whole new wave of players coming in. They just won the World Cup for them. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but they could very well be the favorites for the 2026, 2020.
Yeah. The 2026.
Yeah, 2026.
The 2026 World Cup. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
It's a very young squad. You have McAllister, who's like 25. You have Enzo Fernandez, who's 22. You have Julian Alvarez, who's 22, 23 as well. You have Romeo, who's young. Even Martinez, he's only 31. And so if you say he could be like 3 more years, he's 34 in the World Cup. Tagliafico's 27, 28. Nico Gonzalez, 25. Lot of the core players of Argentina, they're still in their prime, and they still have tons of years left. And so because I know basically on talent, this Argentina team is not the best out there. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the greatest. And when you talk about the greatest, you're talking about the achievements. Um, and then specifically, you're looking at the trophies they won. They've won this current Argentina squad. They've won the Copa America. They've won the World Cup, and they won the La Finalissima. So some of you guys may count the Finalissima. Other you guys may not.
and you know what? I will give you the title, even though like we might all get hate for this. I'll give you the title of greatest national team of all time if they win the Copa America. Because again,
Yeah. Mhm.
yes, the Euros. To be honest, we all know the Euros are more competitive than the Copa America. If we want to go team by team,
Well, I mean, I don't know because like you have three of the biggest footballing nations to ever grace football in South America. You have
It's because
Uruguay, you have Brazil, the biggest footballing nation, and then you have Argentina.
well, it's because the thing is Copa
All of
America.
them are World Cup winners.
You've got a small group of of teams. And Euros, you have to qualify to go to the Euros.
Are we really
that's
saying
what
that
I'm
Andorra
saying.
and
That
San Marino are
no, no,
competition? Liechtenstein, Bosnia,
no, no, no,
and
no, no, no. What I'm saying is, that's that. Like, I want to make sure that I'm not discrediting the Copa America. So that's why
no, of course not. Of course not.
I am saying, if Argentina does win the Copa America, they could be, they will be in the conversation. Right now, you can't say that. I know on paper, I mean, they have lost one of the last 51 games, so everything's indicating to them being top three greatest teams of all time, maybe. But again, once they get a Copa America title, if they get there, then I will have no issue putting them up with Spain.
that's exactly what I'm saying because when you think about it, this Argentina national team going into the World Cup, if they beat Saudi Arabia, they would have actually broken the record for the most consecutive games without a loss.
Yeah,
I
Who
believe
had that before?
Italy. Italy had that record. I think it was 37, and Argentina had 36. And so they fell like one game short. And when you think about it, like the wins, the trophies that they're winning, because that 2010 and that Spanish team, for example, it's not the Barcelona team. Like I know a huge core of the Barcelona team, but there's still some players missing. For example, one of the reasons why that Barcelona team was so great was because of Messi, and this Messi and the connection these Argentine players are having is just on a whole different level. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we are not going to be shifting the conversation. Is that Brazil, the state of Brazil, is looking very dire because, as I said, Neymar he did get injured. Brazil they actually lost against Uruguay. They lost in Uruguay for the first time in 22 years in CONMEBOL qualifying. 22 years was the last time Uruguay beat Brazil in CONMEBOL qualifying. That's a long time. And when you look at how long Neymar is going to be out, he tore his ACL, and he's going to be out roughly anywhere between 6 to 9 months. And if it's earlier, he could make the World Cup. But if it's anything long, I mean the Copa America. If it's anything longer than that, he's definitely going to be missing the Copa America. Um, but because of the state of the Brazilian national team, I do think that Argentina they have a good shot. But I want to know. I want to ask you guys' opinions. Where do you guys think this Brazil is like coming back off of that? That 2018 World Cup, their performance in the Copa America in 2021, and then their performance in the World Cup in 2022 against which they did lose against Croatia in penalties. Where do you guys think that this Brazil is? Is that?
I think I think it's true what you said. I think their situation is actually really dire. They coming into 2022 World Cup, they were actually kind of favorited a bit because they were like,
Yeah.
wow, like the
Yeah.
team looks good. They were doing great in the beginning, and then they fell off to Croatia, and they were close to beating Croatia. They just let Croatia score in that last minute for them to end up going to penalties to lose that match. Uh, then also losing in the Copa America against Argentina. You know, it's not looking too good. And Neymar being their star player, now that he's out, I think this Brazil just they just might be. I'm not gonna say they're finished, like where they're not gonna make the World Cup or anything, but I think there might be facing some struggles in even showing a presence of a strong powerhouse team as they used to in the past years.
No.
That's what
No,
I think.
look, and honestly, to many people, they were the favorites to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
People
Going into that World Cup, the three favorites were Argentina, Brazil,
and
and
France.
France. It was number one.
So I mean,
It was tied between either like France or Brazil. Second was like usually Argentina.
and they continue to produce talent. They continue to produce wingers. They continue to have nice names on paper, and they continue to go through 20 coaches a year.
Yeah.
But they can't find the right formula. Now they have me and Ricky were talking about it before the live stream. Neymar's now becoming he's gonna become the next Ronaldo Nazario because he's gonna
Yeah.
become a big what if he keeps injury after lack of consistency.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Because he's 31, right?
Yeah.
but that's the thing. He's 31, but he feels like he's 38 because he's been in the
Oh,
league he's been in the world of football for so long, but
Yeah,
it speaks too little at the same time.
he's acting like he's 38. He needs to
Exactly,
act like his age.
and
He can be there if he wants to, but he's acting like he's 38. This guy's
and, Bra-
born
and
Saudi
Brazil
Arabian.
and Brazil for that next World Cup. I mean, Casemiro is slowly heading into a
okay.
decline. So
But hold on. Let's look at the Brazilian squad. In goal, you have some of the best goalkeepers in the world.
yeah,
You have
Alisson and
Alisson,
Ederson.
who plays
Ederson
it for Liverpool, and you have
and
Ederson, who plays for Manchester City. In the defense, you have Thiago Silva, who plays for Chelsea, and you have Marquinhos, who plays for PSG. You
That's another
have
that's another issue. That's another issue.
no. Well,
Yeah,
I'm first mentioning the squad that they have.
yeah, on paper.
You have Danilo, who was it? I believe he plays for Juventus. You have Bremer, who plays for Juventus as well. In the midfield, you have Lucas Paqueta, who plays for West Ham. You have Casemiro. You have Bruno Guimaraes, who plays for Newcastle. Um, you
And
have
the
Fred.
and
I'm
the
pretty sure
attack
I'm
is
forgetting names.
the attack sounds great too.
Vinicius.
Yeah,
You got
you have
Vinny.
Vinicius, you have Gabriel Jesus, you have Richarlison, you have Anthony, you have Rafinha, and then you have Renan Lodi, you have uh, what's it called? Who else? Who's another? Alex Tejes. When you look at the squad that Brazil have, like any other team in world football would be like falling over their heels in order to have that squad. I think that if Brazil they get a competent manager and they start building chemistry, they can't cook. Like they have a talented squad.
But there's
You
a
know,
thing that they have not found that manager for a long
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
and now I'm what I was saying like when you were talking, Marquinhos for the next World Cup. And I know we're talking about the Copa
no,
America, which,
wow,
which, which is
wow,
closer up.
yeah,
Marquinhos for the World Cup, I doubt he'll be back. So Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, that Copa America could be their last, and they're already heading into a decline. Their fullbacks are not their strongest suit.
yeah.
They're gonna
Yes,
they're gonna have a young midfield that okay for you. What would be their starting midfield with a Colin Casemiro, for example?
Oof. Um. Well, they've always rocked like two holding midfielders. You'd
Yeah,
probably put in like Bruno Guimaraes, and then you would also probably putting Casemiro in there. But I'm not too familiar, for example, with Brazilian midfielders. Um,
that's the thing. For the most part, a young midfield, and then again, you will have to force Casemiro into it unless some holding midfielder comes out of nowhere in the next year or so and makes his way
yeah,
onto the team. And that attack is supposed to be their strong suit. They really didn't do that much with or without
yeah.
Neymar.
I mean, and Neymar is Brazil's best player. Like Neymar
And and,
is,
and, and with or without him, that team looks great on the attack, and they still
yeah,
didn't do shit.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
mean,
But now I want to pose this question because Neymar's going to be out for 6 to 9 months. Is Neymar finished? Because he's
he's
torn his
not.
ACL. He's torn his ACL.
He signed that contract. He's gonna play some he's gonna go back to that Saudi league. He's gonna play there for a little bit and whatever. I mean, to us, he's finished, and to every big fan, he's finished.
He is
Once you
done.
leave, yo, he was. Remember that he left Barca to be the next Ballon d'Or winner,
No,
and he never did it.
no.
Messi still haunts him. So
It kind of broke his spirits, you know.
no, and look at him now. I mean, 31 already leaving. So I mean, which I mean, he's not the only one, but a name of his caliber at 31 already
No,
leaving.
because when you think about it, Neymar, where do you guys rank Neymar's talent level? Like, would you say that he has like all-time talent? Like, where do you put him?
I mean, at a time, you know, you would consider him the third best in the world when there was like that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
Messi,
like little
Ronaldo, he
Messi and
was
Ronaldo. It was like there was a time where it was undebatably people would be like, oh, and then there's Neymar. He's
I mean,
number two.
And then like all time, like where do you think he ranks?
I don't think I can give you an answer for that. But
All
look,
time, maybe not even, maybe top 10, maybe.
Like, no, I'm talking about talent alone. I'm talking about talent.
yeah, I mean, talent alone.
Talent, maybe, yeah, probably, maybe top 10. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of great players out there.
Wherever I place him, people are gonna have varying opinions. So I'm not gonna give you a number, but I think he will be top 10. But here's the thing: at one point, right now, Haaland and Mbappe are gonna be the next Messi, Ronaldo. At one point, Neymar was supposed to be the next Messi,
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
yeah. So you see, but the thing is, like Mbappe and Haaland, like you can say, like these are going to be greats, for example, because like there's a difference between saying, like, for example, like great. When I talk about greats, I'm mentioning, the Zidans, the what's it called, the Cristianos, the Ronaldos,
Like
the for example,
Kaká's.
the Kaká. I mean, Kaká in a lower level, Ronaldinho, for example, in that level, and then you have like the great goal scorers, for example, like Gerd Muller, your
No, but that,
Cristiano,
but
and
that's
then
what
you
I'm
have like
saying.
you're basically your
Muller,
top talent, like
Messi's nightmare.
your goats,
But
and Pele, Maradona, and Messi,
But that's
for
what I'm
example.
saying. Every generation has their goats. This generation's goats are gonna be so far. It's gonna be Mbappe and Haaland so far.
Okay.
It should have been Neymar.
Maybe, yeah, it should have been Neymar. It
It
should
should
have
have
been
been
Neymar.
Neymar.
But
No, because
instead, it was another Brazilian kid,
because
Vinicius.
I
Vinicius might be up there too, low
Vinicius is
key.
gonna be up there real soon.
yeah, but
If not
Vinny
already.
goes for Brazil. He hasn't like I believe he has like one goal for Brazil, and he like debuted for Brazil in like 2018, or I mean no, like 2019, something like that. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because a lot of people, they actually like they say that Neymar has all-time talent, because at one point, he was on par with Messi, and if he actually took the game seriously and he was consistent, he could have been up there with like the all-timers with Pele, Maradona, and Messi, just based on talent alone. And when we look at Neymar's career, he's only won, for example, that treble, that MSN treble in 2015. And he had that great start in Santos, for example, when he was scoring tons of goals. And he was, I believe, in like the top 10 of the Ballon d'Or, playing in Brazil as like a young kid, when he first started and coming onto the scene. But then that move to PSG, all those injuries. And then when you look at his Brazilian career, his international career, he hasn't won anything for Brazil other than the Olympics. Brazil, they actually won that 2019 Copa America with Neymar being excluded with the squad. Neymar wasn't in that team that won the Copa America.
They
Neymar
weren't.
has not. No, he wasn't. He was actually injured.
Yeah, he was.
So Neymar hasn't won a World Cup, and he hasn't even won a Copa America. Can Neymar even be in the top 10 Brazilian players of all time if he hasn't done anything for Brazil?
Yeah, he can.
But okay. Then
For
for
Brazilian
example,
players,
but for example, how can you put him in? You could say in the best, but for example, like top 10. Like, if how can you be in that Brazilian all time if you don't even have a World Cup or a Copa America? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
off the top of my head,
Ronaldo, Ronaldinho,
you
Cafu.
can't. You can also. I mean, yeah, it's true. You
no,
can,
no,
you
no,
would
like off
if
the
you
top of
put
my
him
head,
top 10.
Pele, like all these players,
I can
they
think of at
have
least
trophies with Brazil.
I can think of at least 6 or 7 Brazilians like above him, and I know there's more. So I agree with you.
Yeah, it's tough, and this is why I'm bringing the discussion, because Neymar. What Brazilian attacker can you name that is still at the top level at the age of 35, into their late 30s? Because when you think about all these great Brazilian attackers, they fizzle out. They have super high and crazy peaks, super young. For example, like Ronaldo when he was like 21, 22,
Yeah.
around there. But when he was like 26, 29, right there,
Romario,
he basically retired.
Ronaldinho.
For example, like you can't really name any like a Brazilian attacking superstar that basically gets over their 30s at the highest level. And so when you think about it, if Neymar doesn't make this Copa America in basically in June that's coming up, is that his career over? Because do you really think that he's going to make the 2026 World Cup?
I think so. I think he's gonna make an attempt to revive his career,
Really?
even if he's.
Remember, this is an ACL injury. This is a huge injury.
I
Yeah,
think he'll find a way to make it.
I think he will find a way to make it too.
Even
I
even
think he,
even if it's not as a starter, he'll find a way to
e-
fix his script.
even if he doesn't show out like he wants to, he's gonna actually try. I think this is.
Yeah,
I think that might be his last dance. I think that
yeah.
might be his possible last dance.
The
After that,
the Copa America.
no, no.
The World
World
Cup
Cup. I thought you
Because
mentioned the
remember,
World Cup.
because
again.
Neymar's going to be okay. Think about it. We're in 2023 at the
No, no, no,
moment.
no, no, no,
He's going
no,
to
no,
be
no.
34 around there.
No, no, and I agree. Tomorrow he could very well say, "I'm done after the Copa America," but I could very well see him try one more time.
One more time, yeah. I think
I,
after that, I think he's done.
I will put my money on him trying one more time than calling it a career.
Okay, okay. And then obviously just like when you're looking at this like situation, um, Argentina look clear favorites to win this Copa America.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean you can't really
but
debate it. Like this
Brazil's
team
supposed to be
is.
second, and they're all over the place. So
Yeah, exactly. Brazil are second at the and they're all over the place. And but we have to keep our expectations low, and manage them just because you just want to put your head down and focus on the work.
yeah.
But guys, we're now going to be switching the conversation. We're going to be leaving South America and heading to Europe, as we're going to be talking about England as they beat um, Italy 3-1, and as well we're going to be talking about Portugal because they beat Bosnia Herzegovina 5-0. And I want to pose this question to you guys: who do you guys think is the favorite for the Euros coming up?
I say
Who's your
Portugal.
favorite? Who's your favorite?
I say Portugal.
Okay,
It's not
why?
because I'm a Ronaldo fan. I actually like Messi a lot more. I just think Portugal because that team is so young. That team is really good right now. That team they performed fairly well in the World Cup. They could have done better, but I think they're still working a lot on their team, and I think we'll see them produce something pretty well in the Euros. You know, they've got a lot of young names right now, and and Ronaldo. I mean, he's actually not doing that bad right now. Supposedly, he's not doing that bad.
I
So
mean,
out
he is the top goal scorer of
of
2023.
20
But I
right
mean,
now
like I wish he could have done that in the World Cup, but
in the World Cup. No, you
like
didn't wish
it,
you would have done that in the World
it,
Cup
it,
because you
it
want
it's for
Messi to have
goats.
the spotlight.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, only the goats do that, but it's understandable.
No, but
Um,
I think they got a good shot. I think they got a good shot. In my opinion, they're my favorites.
I mean, when you look at the squad that Brazil have, I mean that Portugal have,
Yeah.
they have some world class players.
They
Yeah, you
do.
have
That's what
Ruben
I'm saying.
Diaz, you have Joao Cancelo, you have Joao Felix, you have Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, Gonzalo Ramos, Bernardo Silva, Portugal,
Bruno Bruno Fernandez.
Bruno Fernandes, Nuno Mendes, bro. Portugal are absolutely stacked.
They're
Um,
stacked, bro. That's what I'm telling you.
I know they're stacked for and they also have Cristiano Ronaldo, so the Camel Leagues go. But then you also, for example, when you when you look at the state of Europe, Germany aren't that doing that well. They tied to Mexico. Um, they tied to Mexico. The Dutch, they're
Mexico are a good team.
I agree with
the,
them.
they're not in the best of situations, for example. And when you look at the other strong teams, England. England with Bellingham at the lead. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Kyle Walker, Maguire.
Nobody wants to
Like
see England win, bro.
I mean, no one's seen England win, but
Nobody
they
wants
have a
to see.
shot of winning?
And look, with you mentioning that right now, I still think I'm helping out Alex here. I still think that England is my favorite to win. They got to the Euro finals. I know they butchered the World Cup, but they got to the Euro finals. The young players back then are way more polished now. I think the other team. I think that the top three are France, England, and Portugal.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do believe that England and Portugal are better than France right now. We
Oh,
see
you
that
think so?
we saw how stacked France was after that 2018 World Cup. Most of those players are already starting to head out.
Yeah,
As
but I mean, they had like a new like crop of players coming in. For example, you have
Yeah, I mean they made it. They made
Nkunku.
it. They made it to the finals in 2022.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
exactly. So and with that being said, I still think that Portugal. I agree with Ricky. I do think that they're not a favorite for me. I still think England is, but I think Portugal is above France. So I think
Wow.
maybe yeah. I know that's a
Yeah.
hot take, but
Okay, so England, you're putting England above France.
yes, I am.
Wow. You also have Kylian Mbappe in there. You have Dembele. You have Griezmann. You have
Dembele's
Giroud.
washed.
Dem,
He's
dem,
done.
I,
Dembele's
I know he's washed, but for example,
Dembele's
like
questionable. Griezmann's on his way out. They
yeah,
have a lot of question marks on that team.
and can Mbappe win a major
Exactly.
tournament without Griezmann? That's questions to be asked. But then you also, for example, you have Italy in there. You have Spain, and I know we
They're
didn't talk about it, but Germany.
they're great teams, but
Same,
they're not wow right now. They're not
exactly.
wow.
And look,
Hmm.
same thing with Italy. They won those 22. Yeah, I keep farting the
2021.
years.
Yeah, the
2021.
2021
2021.
Euros. Yeah, because of
Yeah,
COVID. That 2021 Euros, they won it with a very, very old team. Yes, they had some youngsters. Chiesa, they had
Bonucci was very good in that tournament.
they have a pretty young midfield. Their two gladiators, they're both gone.
Wow.
They have their attack with Insigne
Chiesa,
and no, but Chiesa,
Immobile.
Insigne and Mobile, they're gone. So that's a team that's also going to start reconstructing. Belgium, their golden generation,
Bro, we haven't even
ass,
talked about Belgium. Oh,
ass.
eh, that golden generation has like underperformed so
That's a very
poorly.
disappointing golden
They
generation.
should have. They should have done so good. I had my hopes in
Bro,
them.
bro, that 2018 World Cup was there for the taking. It was
But
them.
with all that being said, Spain, who's your attacker? So
Gavi.
yes,
Morata,
I concur. Gavi at the nine. So
I mean, you have
again,
Morata. It'd be Ansu Fati
please,
or Dani
Ferran.
Olmo, Nico Williams,
Olmo should not be a striker. Morata is ass. Please,
Joselu, the Lu.
that's crazy. It's crazy that you said that. Fati's trying to figure again. My point is that the teams with the least question marks are England and Portugal. Because again,
No.
France for me is number three, but they do have a lot of
But
question
can you
marks.
I mean, can you trust England or Portugal in the biggest of games? Because England, they
I
lost to
think
France, and England, for example, they've made the semis in the 2018 World Cup. They made the final in the Euros. They lost to what's it called? I believe it was who they lose to in this. They lost to France. Um,
England,
yeah,
yeah,
Uh,
we were live reacted to the game.
yeah. For example, they did that. Just and Portugal as well. They lost to Morocco. Like, can you trust these teams in the biggest of games?
Remember that 2 years does a lot to a team.
No.
France, do you really think Griezmann's gonna be there in 2 years at performing at the level that he performed at this World Cup?
I don't know because
Do you think Dembele's gonna be completely healthy for that World Cup?
I mean it's
I
a
mean,
stretch.
not
Well, it's not for the World
Euros.
Cup. It's for the Euros
Yeah,
because
for
like
the
the
Euros.
World Cup is just like it's still too
it's
far.
far away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
in
at Euros.
2026.
I'm gonna stick by what I'm saying, and who knows, France is gonna come and win it all. But
No, yeah, for personally, for like in my opinion, if you ask me, I think France are the favorites just because with the squad that they have.
and
But England, they're strong outsiders. Portugal,
and
they're
I
also
want to
strong
disagree with you.
favorites.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at the state, they're absolutely solid.
Yeah.
But who knows what happens if we see an upset? Because in 2021 Euros, no one was expecting Italy. They came out of nowhere, and they basically stormed, and they were the best team by far in that
That
campaign.
was awesome too. That was awesome.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we're
it was
speaking
good.
logically here. Favorites.
But yeah, but guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed our international news roundup. We just briefly
I
talked
enjoyed it.
about. All right, all right, whatever. But guys, as always,
Hopefully not Ricky's last appearance.
yeah, hopefully he's here for more times. We did talk about the state of South America, and then we talked about the state of European football, who's going to be the favorite for the Euros. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and as always, guys, remember, like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next